welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you are new here. Today we are doing something very interesting. I'm going to be eating like the longest living people in the world for 24 hours. So what do I mean by this? Well, I'm eating like the people of Okinawa in Japan. Okinawa is a small island off the main island of Japan, and it is the part of the world that has the highest percentage of people living over the age of 100. So they have the longest living population, and that is mainly due to their diet. It's also due to a lot of different lifestyle factors and their genetics and their environment, but it has been proven that their diet is linked to their longevity. And that is why I have chosen this diet. It's not really a diet, it's just their way of eating traditionally. And a little disclaimer here, they don't necessarily all eat like this in Okinawa, but this is definitely the traditional diet. So it's very interesting because it's actually very low in protein. So compared to a lot of the more popular diets nowadays like paleo and keto, this diet has only about 9% of its caloric intake from protein, which is quite interesting. And the protein sources for the most part are vegans. They do have a little bit of fish and occasionally a bit of other meat, but it is a predominantly vegan diet. So obviously I'm just tailoring it to my needs. I'm not going to be consuming any animal products, but it is actually quite typical of their diet to not actually eat any animal products. So I hope you enjoy this video. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and let me know in the comments down below if you've ever heard of the Okinawan diet before. It is actually one of the 5 blue zones. You may have heard of the word blue zone before. It's basically the areas in the world that have the highest percentage of people living over 100 years old. So I will leave some links in the description box below of some research I've done regarding the blue zones and the Okinawan diet. I actually wrote a blog post on it, so you can check that out if you're interested in it. But anyway, let's get into this very interesting day of eating, and starting off with breakfast, where I actually have miso soup for breakfast. So let's jump straight into it. So here we are with our beautiful miso soup. This recipe comes directly from my friend Amy. She has a YouTube channel called Kuroneko Kitchen. I will link that in the description box below and also in the top right corner here. So we are making the dashi broth. So that is using kombu, which is a type of seaweed, as well as some dried shiitake mushrooms. And you have to let that soak overnight. And then in the morning you take out the shiitake mushrooms, then you heat up the mixture a bit, take out the kombu, and then that is your dashi stock completed. And then you've got all the stock that you actually can use in lots of different recipes. So today I'm using it for miso soup as well as this soba noodle recipe. So now we are just straining the mixture through a sieve. You're supposed to also put a paper towel there to get out all the impurities, but I didn't have any, so I didn't use that. And then now we are making the miso soup. So you just use about a cup of the broth, and then I added in some spring onions, some tofu, as well as some miso paste. This paste is called shiro miso, and I got this from an Asian grocery store. This is the one that my friend recommended, but you could just use a regular white miso paste that you can get from a regular supermarket. But yeah, so you just mix that in, and then that's the miso soup done. And I just served that in my cute little bowl, which I'm obsessed with. And on the side, I served it with some sweet potato just to make the meal a bit more filling and sustain me for the morning. And also some tea. So this is roasted rice and green tea, and it is so good. I would recommend trying this if you haven't already. And that was my breakfast. It was super yum, super filling, and I'll let you know in a second my feelings and thoughts a few hours after I ate. Hi guys, so I just wanted to give you a little debrief on how I'm feeling after breakfast. So I did really enjoy the sweet potato especially. It was so good. It was really well cooked, so it was really like soft and yummy. And the miso soup tasted delicious. I think I just put a bit too much tofu in there, and I was just struggling to like eat all the tofu. And it wasn't that I was like full or anything. I'm not used to eating so much tofu for breakfast, so I didn't really feel like finishing it all. But it's been about an hour and a half since I ate, so now it's 9:40. And I looked online. I really am craving something sweet, because I usually have sweet breakfasts. If you watched any of my What I Eat in a Day videos, you'll know that I usually have porridge for breakfast, or something like granola or pancakes. And so I'm just not used to not having something sweet. But I did look online and I saw that they do eat quite a few tropical fruits in Okinawa, and although it's not this exact type of banana, they do have a type of banana there that they eat regularly. So I'm gonna eat a banana as well as some more of this tea because I am missing my coffee. But I'm trying to not have coffee for the whole day because they don't really drink much coffee there, and you know, it is a bit of a challenge for me to not have coffee because I've kind of gotten into a routine of having 2 coffees a day. I used to always only ever have 1, but more recently I've been having 2 plus sometimes also a decaf as well, which I really want to cut down on. Not that coffee's bad for you, but I just don't like being addicted to something. So I just want to try and cut that down, and so it's a little challenge for me to not have any coffee today, but that's fine, we're getting through it. I will have this cup of tea and the banana, and then I'll see you at lunchtime. Bye! Alright, so for lunch we are having a bit of a stir fry. They call it something else, I'll put it up on the screen, in Okinawa, but it's quite common for them to have stir fries there. They usually use a vegetable called a bitter melon, which is a goya, but I didn't have any of that. They also use okra, so I decided to try okra as I've never actually had it before. So I just cut up the okra as well as some other veggies, and I grated up a bit of fresh ginger, and then I just tossed that all in the pan along with some tofu, just to give a bit more protein into the meal. To the pan, I added 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, gave that a good stir, and cooked that for about 5 minutes. And I am also using some of that leftover dashi stock to make up another miso soup. For this miso soup, I'm just having the broth without the tofu because I was having the tofu in the stir fry, and I just kind of wanted a little bit of the miso soup flavor on the side, so I made that up. And then it is time to serve up. I actually also made some rice just in my rice cooker, pretty self-explanatory there, and I tried to make it into this dome shape, and it actually worked so well. And yeah, I just served it with the stir fry as well as some edamame beans, the miso soup that we made earlier, some sweet potato that we made earlier, and a little bit of pickled daikon, which I will tell you more about later. Hi guys, so I just again wanted to check in with you and let you know how I'm going. So I've had lunch about 2 hours ago, and to be honest, like when I was eating it, it did taste good. Like the rice especially was so good, and the tofu stir fry I made was really yum, and edamame beans are yum. The pickle veg that I made was so gross. I think I put too much rice wine vinegar in it and just tasted so vinegary and like not sweet at all, so I think I didn't put enough sugar. So that was a bit of a fail, but everything else is pretty good. I'm like craving something sweet, and I guess I usually have like, you know, a sweet porridge in the morning, and then sometimes I'll have like a protein powder snack, you know, like protein cookies. I love my protein cookie recipe. I'll link that up here if you're interested. But yeah, usually I have some kind of like sweet treat during the day, and I haven't had that other than sweet potato. So I am digging into this last piece of my big sweet potato. It's actually so good. This purple, well, it's purple on the outside, white on the inside. It's really soft. Like when you bite into it, it's like super soft because I baked it in the oven for so long. Anyway, I'm gonna eat this, do a bit of more editing, and then I think I'm gonna do like a gym session or something before dinner because I feel kind of lethargic, to be honest. I just think it's because I haven't had any coffee, and I'm used to having like 2 coffees a day, so I do feel a bit lethargic and just like slow, but hopefully after I've had this it'll give me a bit of energy, then I can do a gym workout and then make dinner. So I'll see you later. Bye! So here is my dinner. I decided to go for something a bit more simple for dinner because I was just craving something more plain. So I made some miso glazed tofu. All I did for the miso glaze was mix some miso paste and mirin together. Then I cooked up some buckwheat soba noodles as per the packet instructions. And now I am making the dipping sauce for the buckwheat noodles. And this recipe again has come straight from Kuroneko Kitchen, so I'll leave the link in the description box below. Basically, we're just using some of that dashi broth. We're adding in some mirin, some soy sauce, and that's about it. You just heat it up lightly on the stove, and yeah, that's all I had for dinner. I served it with some more rice, a bit of fresh cabbage, and some edamame beans. And that was it. It was delicious and satisfying and really, really tasty. Hey guys, so I hope you really enjoyed this video. Honestly, it was really challenging to eat these foods for the whole day because I'm so used to eating my diet, which is, oats for breakfast every day, a coffee in the morning, and it actually was a bit of a struggle to not have any of those foods. I actually mentioned this in my blog post, the pros and cons of this kind of diet. The con for me was that I actually did feel a bit restrictive, and in the past I did have a bit of a restrictive mindset with food, and I've completely overcome that now. So it was kind of interesting to put myself into that restrictive kind of mindset, but it wasn't a calorie restrictive mindset. It was just I wasn't able to eat the foods that I regularly eat. So it was a bit of a challenge for me. And I mean, if you do have a restrictive mindset with food, I probably wouldn't recommend going on any kind of diet. And to be honest, this wasn't really a diet for me. I'm not gonna eat like this all the time. It was just a challenge to try new foods, to try a new way of eating, and it did challenge me and it put me out of my comfort zone, but I learnt new things. I learned how to make miso soup from scratch, which is really cool, and I'm definitely gonna eat that going forward. And I had a really fun time putting myself in someone else's shoes and trying out their way of eating. Obviously, it is not how I'm going to continue to eat, and this was just one day in my whole life. But I did really enjoy the process, and I hope you enjoyed it too. It is very interesting to see how different people eat and different people live. So yeah, it was a fun experiment for me. Let me know in the comments down below if you would like to see any more videos like this. There are 4 other blue zones, so I'm considering doing another video like this on a different blue zone. So let me know if you would be interested in seeing that. There's one from Greece. I can't remember where it is in Greece, but somewhere in Greece. There's one in Italy. There's one from America actually, and I can't remember the other one. But yeah, let me know if you would be interested in seeing that kind of a video. And yeah, if you're new here, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and also click the bell notification button so you're notified every time I post a new video, which at the moment is every Wednesday and Sunday. And with all that said, I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you are safe and well, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!